As the people involved in promoting and marketing and pushing our beloved content forward to players, we have to take responsibility for those brands. In this marvelous world that we're in, there is a few flaws, there are a few issues. So the first thing is that we have an assumption that because the app stores are there to promote content for those devices, we're assuming that we are owed by Apple or Google the right to get our content in front of an audience. Well, that's not the case. Apple and Google's mission is to make the customer experience the best it can be and to make sure that they can find games that they love. It doesn't mean they have to make your game the one that the player finds. We have to be able to make sure that we've targeted the experience to the audience and create something that they love and care about. And to do that, we actually have to care about them. We have to show them love too. We actually have to create a fan base that builds on the experience that we're making, that they feed in and prosper and evolve the experience with us, not despite us. So we have to change our attitude to the way we create content. It's not about the designer, it's about the customer who wants to play the game. And we have to make, whether they're a paying customer, a free customer, or what, we have to create something that makes it worth their while to choose our game and not something else. I'm currently working as the evangelist for EveryPlay, which is a service that allows you to record your gameplay automatically. Now, this is a really interesting way of changing our attitude. So instead of just creating a way of creating marketing, which is focused on what we tell an audience, why don't we instead rethink that? Why don't we let the audience speak for themselves? Why don't we let their experiences, their joy for playing our games, be the very vehicle by which they communicate what they love about our game? So we take our step away from simply marketing and simply advertising, and instead create a whole ecosystem based around what people love and what they want to share for themselves, as if it was a local retailer, as if it was the corner shop that you went to see your friends and talk about the latest, greatest games and get involved in it. That attitude is something that's very different from what we're seeing from the current app stores out there, whether it's Apple or Amazon or Google, or even some of the still existing operator stores around the world. In fact, if you look at China, there are 72 different app stores. So all of these are being run in different ways, but very few of them are actually motivated by the revenue and the audience that they serve. Apple is not particularly, although I'm sure the individuals concerned are, but they're not particularly driven by revenue from the App Store. The majority of the revenue still comes from the hardware. So is it any surprise that we have frustration that we can't see the best content that we would want to see from the developer's point of view? I think that there's a massive opportunity that's been missed because this incentive, this competitive context isn't there with those stores. Does that mean that we can wave away the responsibility and say it's Apple and Google's fault for not doing everything they could possibly do to sell my game? No, we have to take responsibility. And actually, Apple have done a brilliant thing here. They've introduced this ability to have an affiliate system. And the affiliate system means that actually we're throwing money away if we don't use every other channel available to us to drive an audience to the App Store using our unique URL. Because if we can do that, we'll get an extra few percentage on the revenue it would get. So we're literally throwing money away by not using all of the channels away for us. The other thing that's interesting, and this is where Google actually have an advantage, is Google don't make it so they're the only store on their platform. Anyone can create an Android-based store. So the opportunity for a new entrant to come in and radically change the way we buy mobile content is there. And I suspect that will happen, but probably where someone is looking at gaming experiences across the multiple devices. So that we have a single experience that allows us to buy maybe something like Steam content on PC, but then reuse the license that we bought on other devices too. And I think that type of disruption is what we're going to see next.